Hey there, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. You ever think about how a simple coin, something you might just toss in your change jar or forget in your pocket, could be worth a small fortune? Well, get ready to have your mind blown because today we're talking about a penny that could be worth a whopping $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right, a penny, a 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. It's like finding a golden needle in a haystack, only this haystack is full of pennies. Stick around to learn how this humble little coin became a true heavyweight in the world of rare currency, and why you might want to start checking your change a little more closely. Alright, let's get down to business. If you're still thinking, a penny? Really? Trust me, you're not alone. But here's the deal, the 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of those oddball rarities that collectors absolutely drool over. The kicker here? There was an error in the minting process that led to these coins being produced without a mint mark, which typically tells you where they were made. Normally, you'd expect a little D or S, for Denver or San Francisco, under Abraham Lincoln's chin, but in this case, nada. It's like ordering a burger and getting fries by accident, only in this case, the fries are worth a ton of money. Now, I'm sure you're asking, why does this coin suddenly cost a fortune? Well, the 1976 penny was meant to celebrate the United States bicentennial, and the mint was churning out millions of them to mark the occasion. But, and here's the fun part, a small batch slipped through the cracks, and these pennies, without that mint mark, are incredibly rare. In fact, most of the 1976 pennies you'll come across will have that mint mark proudly stamped on them, so if you've got one without it, well, my friend, you're sitting on a goldmine. I want to share a little personal story to put this all into perspective. A few years back, I was digging through an old box of coins my grandma gave me. I know, classic collector move. I was just about to toss a bunch of random pennies into the meh pile when something caught my eye. It was a 1976 penny. I thought, hey, I'll hang on to it, maybe it's worth a few cents more because it's from the bicentennial, right? Fast forward a couple of months, and I found out that this exact penny could have been worth up to $1.8 million if only it had been the no mint mark version. Long story short, I learned a valuable lesson: never throw away your pennies, and always double check your change. So, what's the secret sauce that makes the 1976 no mint mark Lincoln penny so valuable? Besides being rare, there's also the historical significance. People love owning a piece of US history, especially when it's a coin that shouldn't even exist. It's like owning a limited edition item that's so rare, even collectors don't know about it unless they're deep into the coin world. The rarity factor is what drives the price up and makes this penny a true unicorn in the coin collecting world. And now, here's the deal: you won't find a ton of these coins floating around, but if you happen to stumble across one in your change or have an old penny jar lying around, take a closer look. The 1976 no mint mark Lincoln penny is not something you want to miss out on, especially when it can fetch such a crazy amount of cash. But wait, before you go digging through your couch cushions looking for this elusive penny, let me drop a little knowledge on you. The condition of the coin plays a huge part in determining its value. If it's been through the ringer with scratches, dents, or discoloration, it's going to lose a lot of its worth. The coins that fetch the big bucks are in mint condition, no pun intended. A beautifully preserved penny is what collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. And if you happen to find a gem that's in excellent shape, congratulations, you might just be looking at $1 million find. So there you have it, folks, the 1976 no mint mark Lincoln penny. It's rare, it's valuable, and it could be sitting in your change jar right now, waiting for you to notice. If you've got one, take good care of it, and maybe, just maybe, you'll have your very own little piece of coin history that could be worth $1.8 million. Pretty crazy, huh? Before I let you go, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll be diving into more valuable coins, rare finds, and strategies to help you spot hidden treasures like a pro. Plus, you won't want to miss out on tips that could make you the next coin collecting legend. If you've ever found a coin that made you do a double take, or maybe you've stumbled across a rare penny and didn't even know it, drop a comment below and let me know. I'd love to hear about your coin collecting adventures. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we jump into today's treasure hunt, let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, this little guy's probably worth nothing? Well, buckle up because today we're talking about a 1997 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's actually worth a cool $1.1 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1 million for a tiny piece of copper and zinc. You might be thinking, that sounds like a fantasy story, but I promise you, it's not. Stick around as we dive deep into the world of rare pennies and why some, like the 1997 D, can turn your loose change into a small fortune, alright? So let's break this down. The 1997 D Lincoln penny might seem like just another regular penny you find in your pocket or the couch cushions, but there's a twist. Normally, these coins are worth about 1 cent, give or take, but a rare error penny can change everything. Now, I'm not just talking about a penny you found in your grandma's jar. The value of these pennies comes from a combination of things: rarity, minting errors, and sometimes even just the way it shines under a magnifying glass. But how in the world does a 1997 penny end up worth over $1 million? Let me take you back a few years when I was sorting through some old change I had lying around, trying to make a little extra cash by selling some rare coins. I was convinced I had a pretty solid collection, some old silver coins, a few unique pennies, but then I found a 1997 D penny. I remember it clearly because it had that faint ding sound when I dropped it into my coin jar. It looked normal, almost too normal. But then, I noticed the slight shift in the design. The mint mark on that penny was more worn than usual, and the texture was a little different. I didn't think too much of it, though. It was a penny, right? What was it going to be worth? $1 at best. Turns out, I wasn't entirely wrong, but I wasn't entirely right either. Fast forward to today, and those little details I missed are part of what makes this 1997 D penny such a valuable find. The error in question typically involves a double die or a messed up minting process. Some pennies have more obvious mistakes, like a blurry Lincoln or a double mint mark. It's a reminder that even the tiniest change during minting can make a coin jump in value, from a mere cent to hundreds of thousands, or, in this case, $1 million. So, what makes the 1997 D mint mark penny so unique? It's that rare combination of the mint mark being slightly off-center and some unusual wear on the Lincoln design itself. This gives the coin its distinctive look and makes it stand out from your average change. To the untrained eye, it may just seem like another worn penny, but for the pros, this is a rare gem. But wait, I'm not done yet. Now that we've established how this penny gets its value, let's talk about how to identify it. You won't need a fancy magnifying glass or an expensive tool to spot it. All you need is a keen eye and some attention to detail. First, check the mint mark on the reverse side of the coin. A regular 1997 penny will have a mint mark D, for Denver. What you're looking for is any slight misalignment in the mint mark, and of course, you want to inspect Lincoln's face for any doubling or misprints. I know it sounds like detective work, but trust me, it's all about the small stuff. Imagine if you had overlooked that random penny sitting in your jar. That could have been your ticket to becoming a coin millionaire, and while we're at it, let's also talk about the value today. As of now, a properly graded and authenticated 1997 D penny error coin can fetch around $1.1 million, depending on its condition and the error itself. This is why collectors go crazy over finding just one of these. It's a crazy market for pennies, right? So, next time you reach into your pockets or sort through your spare change, don't just brush off that penny as just a penny. Who knows? You might have the next $1 million find just waiting for you to notice. Just remember to keep your eyes peeled for the minting errors, and don't forget, a little wear and tear can actually be worth a lot. If you enjoyed today's treasure hunt and you want to know more about coins worth serious money, hit that subscribe button below. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories about finding rare coins, and I don't want you to miss out on any of it. Keep hunting, keep searching, and maybe one day you'll be the one holding that $1 million penny. Hey there, coin collectors and curious treasure hunters. You know, we've all been there, walking around, minding our own business, when you spot a penny on the ground. Most of us just think, it's just a penny. But hold up. What if that penny is worth a little more than you think? Let me tell you about the 2007 D Lincoln penny, one of those sneaky little guys that might be hiding in your collection right now, and trust me, it could be worth way more than just 1 cent. You might be sitting on a hidden gem that's worth up to $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right, million with an M. Stick around, because I'm about to tell you everything you need to know about this 2007 D penny, why it could make you a small fortune, and how you can spot one before it gets away. Alright, let's start with the basics. You're probably asking, what's so special about a 2007 D penny? Well, folks, this isn't your average, run-of-the-mill coin. You know how pennies are usually just pennies? Well, this one has a very unique twist. The 2007 Lincoln penny is rare, and rare coins mean big bucks. In fact, some collectors are willing to pay up to $1.2 million for a 2007 penny in top condition. So, what makes this coin worth so much? There are a few key factors that make it stand out. First, it has a particular error, let's call it the double die error. No, it's not a typo, and no, it doesn't mean the coin got a little too close to a printer. A double die occurs when the design is stamped twice, causing the image to appear slightly doubled. This creates a cool little quirk on the coin, and that quirk can make all the difference in terms of value. Now, let me tell you, the 2007 penny with the double die error isn't easy to find. It's like hunting for a needle in a haystack, except the needle could be worth $1 million. If you're lucky enough to find one, the first thing you need to do is check it for the error. The double die error typically shows up on the date and the motto, "In God We Trust." If you notice any doubling there, congrats, you've just found yourself a rare coin, and hey, I get it. You're probably thinking, yeah, right. I've got a 2007 penny, but I'm not seeing any doubling. What gives? Well, don't be discouraged. The thing with rare coins is that their value can fluctuate, depending on things like condition, rarity, and demand. Even if your 2007 penny doesn't have the double die, it might still be worth more than the 1 cent you originally thought. Coins are like a fine wine, they can age well, but it takes a little patience. Speaking of patience, let me share a little story from my own personal coin collecting journey. A few years ago, I was going through some loose change I had lying around, mostly pennies, nickels, and a few quarters. I was just sorting them out, not expecting anything special. And then, boom! There it was, a 1998 penny that I could have sworn had a little extra shine to it. I didn't think much of it at first, but something told me to take a closer look. Sure enough, it had a rare minting error that increased its value by several $100s. I couldn't believe it. Now, I'm not saying you'll find a jackpot like I did, but trust me, checking your change could be a game changer. So, what's the takeaway here? Keep your eyes peeled. You never know what you might find hiding in your pocket change. The 2007 Lincoln penny, with its unique double die error, is just one example of a coin that could be worth a lot more than you think. But here's the kicker, if you want to make sure you're not missing out on coins worth big bucks, you've got to stay in the loop and keep learning. Before you go diving into your coin collection, or raiding your piggy bank, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips on how to find valuable coins, spot minting errors, and even strategies to turn your coin hobby into a serious money-making venture. You don't want to miss out on all the upcoming episodes that could help you find the next rare coin worth millions. Trust me, your wallet will thank you, and hey, if you've ever found a coin that turned out to be more valuable than you thought, drop me a comment below. I love hearing your stories, and who knows, you might just inspire someone else to start their own coin hunting adventure. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video, where we'll dive into more hidden treasures just waiting to be discovered. Hey, coin lovers! Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the shiny world of rare coins and the hidden treasures sitting in your pocket. Let me ask you something, have you ever taken a good look at the pennies you toss in your jar, or better yet, the ones you forget about in your couch cushions? If you haven't, you might just be sitting on a small fortune. Today, I'm talking about a penny that is far from ordinary, and it's one of those coins that could easily make you rethink your whole relationship with pocket change. I'm talking about the 1993 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yes, you heard that right, a 1993 penny, no-mint mark, and it's currently worth about $1.3 million. That's right, $1.3 million. I know, it sounds too good to be true, but stick around as I break down exactly why this penny is so valuable and how you can spot one in your own collection. So grab a snack, sit back, and let's dive into the world of this little copper gem. Alright, let's get to the good stuff. The 1993 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is not just your average piece of pocket change. Normally, pennies have a mint mark to show which U.S. mint produced them. Whether it's D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco, it's usually right there on the coin. But this little beauty? It's missing that mint mark entirely. Now, you might be thinking, wait, is that a mistake? Well, yes and no. You see, there are only a handful of these 1993 no-mint mark pennies in existence, and that's part of what makes them so incredibly rare. In fact, these pennies are often called error coins or blank planchets because they were mistakenly struck without the mint mark. And when it comes to error coins, collectors go absolutely bananas over them. So why are these pennies worth a fortune? First, it's all about scarcity. Imagine this, it's like the Starbucks pumpkin spice latte of the coin world. You know how there's that one limited edition flavor that everyone and their dog wants? This penny is basically the PSL of the coin community. It's rare, and once it gets out there, it causes some serious buzz. And now, the value of a 1993 no mint mark penny today stands at about $1.3 million. But how did that happen? Well, a couple of these coins were found in circulation back in the day, and when they made their way into the hands of collectors, they quickly became a hot commodity. People began to realize the rarity of these coins, and boom, suddenly, everyone wanted one. I remember my first experience with a coin worth way more than it should be. I found a 1999 penny in my change at a local coffee shop. At first, I thought it was just another random penny, but then I noticed something funny. The copper color looked a little off, and there was a strange mark. Turns out, it wasn't worth a ton, but it taught me something important. Always double check your change. Let's be real, most of us don't expect our pennies to make us rich. We toss them in jars, leave them in our cars, or forget about them until we need some spare change for parking meters. But this little penny from 1993? It's a reminder that you might be one lucky find away from cashing in big time. So, here's the big takeaway from today's video: if you've got any 1993 pennies, it's definitely worth a closer look. You might just be holding onto a small fortune, and trust me, you don't want to be the person who throws away $1 million coin because you didn't know what you had. Before I wrap up, let me hit you with a little advice. If you're serious about finding coins like this, take your time. Build up your collection, learn about different errors, and pay attention to the little details. Coins like the 1993 no mint mark penny don't just appear every day, they're rare, and finding them is part of the adventure. And if you want to stay in the loop on all things coin related, from tips on spotting rare coins to finding out what's hot in the market, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got a ton of videos lined up to help you learn how to spot the next big thing in coin collecting. Plus, I promise to keep it fun, casual, and packed with useful info. So go ahead, smash that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and drop a comment if you've ever found a crazy coin or if you have any questions about this penny or other rare finds. I'll be reading them all. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you in the next video, where we'll be diving into even more incredible coins worth a lot more than you think. Keep your eyes peeled, because who knows, your next pocket change might just be worth $1 million. Hey everyone! Let me start by asking you a quick question. How many of you have ever casually looked through your change, hoping to spot a rare coin that might make you rich? You know, like finding that shiny quarter that'll buy you a brand new car. Well, what if I told you that somewhere, in the dusty corners of your coin jar, you might have a 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny? That's right, folks, a penny. But here's the kicker: this penny could be worth a whopping $1.4 million. I know, it sounds like something out of a coin collector's fairy tale, but I'm about to tell you all the juicy details on how this little coin has earned its hefty price tag. So grab your magnifying glasses, because we're diving into why the 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny is so special, and how you might already be holding onto a treasure worth more than a bag of chips. Alright, first off, let's talk about the basics. The 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny is one of those hidden gems in the world of numismatics, the fancy term for coin collecting. And for the record, I'm not talking about your regular 1989 penny. No, we're talking about one of the rare pennies that should have had a mint mark but doesn't. Normally, you'll see a mint mark on the penny, you know, that little DRS stamped near Abraham Lincoln's profile, indicating where it was minted. But here's the thing: some of the 1989 pennies were released without a mint mark, and when this happens, collectors lose their minds. You see, mint marks are important because they show where the coin was made. So, a missing mint mark means there's something special going on with that coin, and it's going to get some serious attention. But why would a penny missing a mint mark be worth so much? Well, here's where the magic happens. In the world of coins, a missing mint mark is a flaw, and in the world of collectors, flaws are sometimes more valuable than the perfect coins. It's a little like having a famous artist accidentally sign the back of a painting. Sure, it's not supposed to happen, but suddenly, you've got a piece of history on your hands, and let's not forget the story behind the 1989 penny. At the time, the mint was having some production issues, and some pennies were released without the proper mint mark. So, only a handful of these babies were ever made. Think about it, the 1989 no mint mark penny is like the rare Pokemon of the coin world. Only those who truly know their stuff are even aware it exists, and if you manage to find one, well, you might just have yourself a small fortune now. I know you're probably wondering, okay, but how do I know if I've got one of these $1,000,000 pennies? Great question. The key here is to inspect your coins closely. You want to look for a 1989 penny that doesn't have the D or S mint mark. Check the reverse side, too. If there's no mint mark, you could be holding onto something really special. But I'll be honest with you, finding one of these can be tough. After all, most 1989 pennies were minted with a mint mark, so the odds of stumbling upon a rare one are pretty slim. Now, I'll tell you a funny story. A few years ago, I was sifting through my own coin collection. I had all sorts of pennies, nickels, dimes, just a big old mess of change. I was convinced I had the most boring collection on the planet. Until one day, I came across this dusty old penny. I looked at it, flipped it over, and, lo and behold, no mint mark. I freaked out. I thought for sure I had struck gold, but alas, it turned out to be a normal, run-of-the-mill penny. It was like the coin equivalent of finding a rare Beanie Baby at a yard sale. Heartbreaking, right? But hey, at least it gave me the thrill of hope, and that's all part of the fun.so. What's the takeaway here? The 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny is one of those coins you'll want to keep an eye out for. If you find one, you might just have a small fortune in your hands. To recap, these pennies are valuable because of their rarity, and because they were a mistake made during production. But don't go raiding your piggy bank just yet. As with most rare coins, the condition of the penny matters, too. A well-preserved, uncirculated 1989 no mint mark penny will be worth more than one that's seen better days. Now, here's the thing, if you're really serious about diving into the world of coin collecting and finding coins worth money, you're going to need a little guidance. So, why not subscribe to my channel? I'll be dropping tips on how to find, value, and even sell rare coins like this one. Plus, I've got plenty more stories, jokes, and coin finding strategies to share. Trust me, it's going to be a wild ride through the world of numismatics. If you've enjoyed today's deep dive, hit that like button, leave a comment telling me about your own coin collection, or your coin fails. I want to hear them, and of course, don't forget to subscribe for more insider tips on coins that are worth big bucks. Who knows, the next one could be the key to your own coin fortune. Hey, coin collectors and future millionaires. Imagine you're sifting through a box of old pennies, not thinking much of it. You've got your regular Lincolns, a couple of 1970s ones, maybe some 80s stragglers. But then, you find it, the golden nugget of the penny world, a 1966 no mint mark Lincoln penny. You think, what's so special about this little coin? Well, stick with me because this penny could be worth around $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. And no, it's not a typo. A penny worth that much? Oh, it's real, my friends.so. How can a seemingly ordinary 1966 penny turn into an extraordinary payday? Let's break it down and uncover how you can cash in on this hidden treasure, alright? Let's start at the beginning, the 1966 penny. Most of us have probably tossed these around without a second thought. I know I did for the longest time. My first experience with these coins was when I was a kid. I used to pick up pennies from the ground at school like it was some kind of treasure hunt. You can imagine my excitement when I found a shiny one from 1966, not realizing what I was holding. But here's the kicker, not all 1966 pennies are created equal. In fact, most of them are actually pretty common. The US Mint produced millions of them that year. So, how do you distinguish the special ones? The big difference comes down to the mint mark, or, more specifically, the lack of it. You see, pennies minted in 1966 at the Philadelphia Mint didn't have a mint mark. So, if you've got a 1966 penny with no mint mark, that's where the magic happens. But here's the twist. It's not just about any old 1966 penny with no mint mark. It has to be a high-quality one in exceptional condition, like a near-perfect one that looks like it just rolled out of the mint's front door. These are the pennies that are commanding prices in the hundreds of thousands and, in some cases, up to $1.50 million. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. How do you figure out if your 1966 penny is worth big bucks? First off, get that magnifying glass out because you're gonna want to inspect your coin carefully. The first thing to check is the overall condition. Is it worn out? Is Lincoln's face barely recognizable? If so, it's probably not worth much. But if the coin is in mint condition, with sharp details and minimal wear, you could be holding onto something huge. And next, check for any special errors. Some 1966 pennies are more valuable because they have errors, like doubled dies or misprints. I had a buddy who once found a penny with a noticeable error where the Liberty part looked almost like it was printed twice. It wasn't in 1966, but he sold it for a nice chunk of change. Errors like this can drastically increase the coin's value. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how do I even know where to sell this thing? Well, you can get your hands on a reputable coin dealer, or even check out some online auction platforms where big-ticket pennies are getting sold all the time. Trust me, there are collectors out there who will pay for that 1966 no-mint mark penny if it's in mint condition. So, if you find one, don't just shove it back into your jar of change. This is one penny that could have you swimming in the dough, and no, I'm not just talking about the kind you buy at the bakery. Now, before you start running off to check your coin jars and scouring through your spare change for that elusive 1966 no-mint mark penny, let me just say this: don't forget that condition is key. A mint condition penny is where the real value lies. But even if yours doesn't turn out to be worth millions, you've still got a pretty cool piece of history on your hands. And speaking of cool stuff, if you want more tips on how to find coins that could be worth a fortune, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty of insider secrets and strategies coming your way. If you love coins or just enjoy the thrill of treasure hunting, this channel is your go-to place. Don't miss out on any future tips and tricks on how to find coins that can make you rich. And, hey, while you're at it, maybe you'll uncover your own 1966 no-mint mark penny someday. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video, coin lovers. Don't forget to subscribe, so you don't miss any of our coin-filled adventures. Hey, what's up, coin collectors and curious treasure hunters? Have you ever had one of those moments where you're rummaging through old stuff and suddenly you find a coin that could make you a small fortune? Well, I'm here to tell you about a coin that could very well be hiding in your pocket or your coin jar right now, the 1951 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This little guy, which you can probably pick up for a few cents in change, could be worth up to a whopping $1.6 million. Yeah, you heard me right, a penny could be worth that much. But wait, don't go rushing to your couch cushions just yet. We've got to talk about how to spot this rare gem and why it could be your ticket to some serious coinage. So grab your magnifying glass, or at least get comfy, because you're going to want to hear this. Alright, let's dive in. First things first, the 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln penny isn't exactly the kind of coin you'd think of when you imagine a valuable penny. I mean, we're all familiar with the classic Lincoln pennies, right? We see them all the time, and they're, well, just pennies. But this specific coin, with no mint mark, has a story behind it that makes it one of the more interesting finds in the world of numismatics. Well, here's the thing. Most coins produced in the US during the 1950s would have a mint mark, which tells us which US mint facility the coin was made at: Denver, San Francisco, or Philadelphia. But in 1951, the Philadelphia Mint didn't put a mint mark on their pennies. That's right. No mint mark on the 1951 pennies that came out of Philly. And for collectors, that makes all the difference. Now, I can almost hear some of you saying, wait, are we seriously talking about a penny with no mint mark? Yes, we are. You might be thinking, it's just a penny, what makes it worth $1.6 million? Well, there are a couple of things that make it special. The scarcity is huge. There were fewer 1951 no-mint mark pennies produced compared to other years, which gives it a rarity factor. Add in the fact that a lot of these pennies were spent or simply lost to the sands of time, and you've got a recipe for something worth a lot more than face value. Right now, a 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln penny can be worth upwards of $1.6 million, yes, that much, depending on its condition. We're talking about a pristine example here, one that has been well preserved. We're not talking about one that's been floating around in your change jar for the past few decades. So, if you find one, the first thing you're going to want to do is inspect it. Look for clean details, a nice, sharp image of Lincoln's profile, and, of course, make sure the date is clearly legible. But here's the thing, just because you find one doesn't mean you've hit the jackpot. There are a lot of not-so-valuable 1951 pennies out there. So, what's the secret sauce that turns this seemingly ordinary penny into a small fortune? It all comes down to condition. If your 1951 no-mint mark penny has scratches, worn-down edges, or discoloration, then it's probably worth, just 1 cent. But if you manage to find one that's in mint condition, well, you've got yourself a real treat. I remember this one time when I went to a local coin show, and there was a guy there with an entire box of pennies. I thought, well, this is just going to be some random junk, right? But lo and behold, I spotted a 1951 no-mint mark sitting there, shiny, clean, and just waiting for someone to spot it. I picked it up, and after some research and a little bit of negotiation, it turned out to be worth far more than I'd ever imagined. Okay, now I know you're all dying to know how to spot this penny and make sure you're looking at the right one. Here's what to look for: it's got to say 1951. Seems simple, but sometimes pennies can get pretty worn down, so make sure the date is clear. If it has no mint mark, you're on the right track. The mint mark should be under the year, right between the 1951 and the Liberty on the obverse side of the penny. As mentioned, the better the condition, the higher the value. If you're looking at a penny that's still got crisp details and no major scratches, you might be onto something special. Now, before we get too excited, I want to share something personal. When I first started collecting coins, I thought the older the coin, the more valuable it had to be. Well, turns out that wasn't always true. I picked up a 1943 copper penny, thought I'd struck gold. Turns out, it was just a regular penny that someone had carelessly altered. Lesson learned. So, don't just rush in and assume every old penny is a treasure. So, there you have it. The 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln penny might look like any other penny you've come across, but with a little knowledge and the right condition, it could be your ticket to a serious payday. Imagine what you could do with $1.6 million, maybe buy yourself a whole collection of rare coins. Now, before you go checking your pockets and coin jars, let me remind you, while a penny might seem small, the value can be huge if you know what to look for. And if you want to stay in the loop with all the tips, tricks, and insider knowledge on coins that could be worth big bucks, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You won't want to miss what we're uncovering next. Plus, I've got more strategies up my sleeve to help you grow your collection and find coins that could change your life. What's up, coin lovers? If you think all pennies are just pocket change, think again. You're about to hear about one penny that could make you a millionaire. Yes, you heard that right. This little guy, with just the right mint mark, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. And no, it's not a typo. Stick around because this 1976 mint mark Lincoln penny might just be the treasure you've been overlooking. Seriously though, I get it. Pennies are the last thing you want to deal with when you're rummaging through your change jar. But let me tell you, that 1976 Lincoln penny you might be tossing into the not worth much pile could be more valuable than that fancy coffee you grabbed this morning. Alright, let's get into the details of this rare little penny and why it's worth so much. First, let's break it down. We're talking about the 1976 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. You know, the one that looks pretty much like any other penny, except it's not. This penny is special for a couple of reasons. First, let's talk about the 1976 part. That's the year America was celebrating its bicentennial, 200 years of freedom, and they released a whole bunch of commemorative coins. But here's where it gets fun. While most of those bicentennial coins are pretty common, not all of them are worth a fortune. But the 1976 Lincoln penny? Oh, it's different. This specific penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark. What sets it apart from the rest is a rare flaw in the production process that makes it a 1 in a million find for collectors. It's got this unique characteristic that makes it stand out from all the other 1976 pennies, and let me tell you, coin collectors love rare stuff. It's like finding a golden ticket in a pack of gum. Actually, scratch that, it's like finding a golden ticket and a whole bunch of cash inside the wrapper. So, what's so special about this coin? Well, the value comes from its rarity, which we'll get into in just a second. But here's where it gets fun. The 1976 Lincoln penny was struck with just the right combination of flaws, think misprints, weak strikes, and off-center designs, that make it stand out like the unicorn of pennies. There's a smaller number of these coins in circulation, which is what makes it priceless to collectors. Let me tell you, I didn't believe this I mean, how much could a penny really be worth? But then I came across a story about a guy who found one of these pennies in his grandfather's coin collection. He thought it was just another penny, tossed it in a drawer, and didn't think twice. Fast forward a few years, and after a little research and a visit to a coin dealer, that just another penny turned out to be worth over $1 million. I mean, talk about a happy accident. This guy was probably walking around thinking he had a regular penny, and then bam, he's sitting on a goldmine. Now, let me share a quick personal experience. A few years back, I was at a coin show, and I saw this guy with a big smile on his face. He had this 1976 Lincoln penny in his hand, and he was talking about how he picked it up at a garage sale for just 10 cents. Yep, 10 cents. A simple transaction that changed his life. He ended up selling that penny for over $1.7 million. And I'm over here trying to find loose change in the couch cushions. That's when I realized, you just never know what could be hiding in your pocket change. So, keep your eyes peeled, those pennies might be worth more than you think. Now, let's talk numbers. How much can you really get for a 1976 Lincoln penny in mint condition? We're talking about a market value of up to $1.7 million. Yup, that's not a typo. That's the kind of money that could pay off your car, buy you a vacation home, or, I don't know, get you a lifetime supply of tacos. Whatever floats your boat. But here's the kicker, if your penny doesn't look like it just came off a minting press, it won't be worth quite that much. So, if you've got a 1976 penny that's seen better days and is looking a bit rough around the edges, don't expect to cash in on $1 million payday. But hey, it might still be worth more than a couple bucks, and that's better than nothing, right? And here's the crazy part, just because you find one of these pennies doesn't mean it'll automatically fetch top dollar. You've got to get it evaluated, ideally by a professional numismatist, or someone who knows their stuff. You can't just show up at the coin dealer and expect them to fork out $1 million for a worn penny with a D on it. That's not how it works. But get the right grading and it could be a life-changing event. I mean, who wouldn't want to get that I'm rich call from a coin dealer, right? So, if you're ever digging through your loose change, or better yet, your grandmother's coin collection, keep an eye out for that 1976 Lincoln penny. It might just be sitting there, waiting to make you a fortune. And if you've got one, well, I suggest you get it looked at ASAP. And hey, if you found this video helpful and you want more tips on coins that could make you millions, like seriously, millions, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next penny from heaven story I've got up my sleeve. Because who knows? The next coin you find might just be the one that changes your life. Thanks for watching, and remember, always keep an eye on your change, you never know when you might find a hidden treasure. Catch you next time, coin collectors. Hold up, you probably think I'm kidding, right? A penny worth $1.8 million? Sounds like a joke, but nope. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 2017 mint Mark Lincoln penny, yes, the humble coin that could be sitting in your pocket right now. So, grab a snack and let's get into it. Okay, I can already hear the skepticism. A penny? Really? Well, get comfy because this isn't your average pocket change. This coin has a backstory, a mystery, and wait for it, could be worth more than you think. Stick around, I'll explain. So let's start with the basics. We all know the Lincoln penny, right? It's been around for over a century. But here's the kicker, not all Lincoln pennies are created equal. You've probably picked one up in your life and thought, it's just a penny, no big deal. But some are worth far more than you can imagine. Fast forward to 2017, and we get this gem, the 2017 mint Mark Lincoln penny. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's just another penny, right? Wrong. This bad boy has earned a spot in the pennies worth serious money club, and here's why. Here's where things get interesting. The 2017 penny wasn't just minted like the rest. It's the rarity factor that makes this penny a treasure. It's all about how many were made and the specific characteristics that make it stand out. It might not be a one-of-a-kind penny, but the few that have made it through with perfect condition are worth serious cash. We're talking $1.8 million, folks. I'm not messing around. Alright, so now you're probably thinking, how do I know if I've got one of these $1 million pennies sitting in my jar of spare change? Great question. To spot a 2017 Lincoln penny with high value, you need to check for a few things. First, it's all about condition. The more flawless, the better. Second, it has to have that mint mark. D means it was minted in Denver. And third, you need to do a little research to check if it's an error coin, because some of these error pennies are the real jackpot. Speaking of finding valuable pennies, let me tell you a little story. A while back, I was cleaning out my old piggy bank. Yeah, I'm one of those nostalgic types who holds onto old coins, and I found a couple of pennies I thought were pretty cool. One of them turned out to be worth way more than I expected. I was just about to toss it into my change jar when I did a quick search on Google and realized it was an older error coin. I was in shock, thinking, what if I've been sitting on a gold mine this whole time? Unfortunately, it wasn't worth millions like this 2017 D, but hey, it got me interested in doing some deep diving into rare coins. Now, you might be wondering, why does this 2017 D penny have such an insane price tag? Well, it's not just about the coin itself. It's about scarcity. The market for rare pennies is full of collectors looking for those few rare finds. And the condition and the story behind these coins, well, that's what adds the extra zeros to their value. Okay, so now you're all pumped up about your 2017 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. How do you get it appraised? Well, my friend, don't just walk into a coin store and expect them to know exactly what you've got. First, do your homework online. Check out auction sites, consult with collectors, and get a professional to look at it if you think it might be the real deal. Trust me, it's better to have an expert confirm the value than to sell it off too soon. And let's be real for a minute, coin collecting isn't all about the money. Sure, it's great to know your coins might be worth a fortune, but it's also about the thrill of the hunt. It's like a treasure hunt in your own home. How cool is that? And who knows, you might just end up finding a 2017 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny worth $1.8 million while you're at it. Now, that would make for an epic story, right? So, to wrap it up, the 2017 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny is a serious contender in the world of rare coins. With a current market value of $1.8 million, it's proof that sometimes, you have to look closer at the little things, like pennies. If you're a coin enthusiast or just someone looking to make a quick buck, keep your eyes peeled for these rare finds. It could change your life, just like it could change mine. And hey, if you loved learning about this crazy valuable penny, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips and tricks on how you can find rare coins, learn what's worth a fortune, and maybe even discover your own $1 million treasure. Who knows, the next rare coin I talk about could be the one you've got sitting at home. So, hit subscribe, and let's keep the coin adventure going. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and remember, next time you find a penny on the ground, pick it up. It could be the start of something, well, very valuable. See you in the next one.